nine, all nine. All nine, all nine.
Presently, we are now carrying out the earthworks and cutting to formation level in what we call in engineering term, down to the levels that required, so that we have a good profile, both longitudinal and cross section. So that we are going for a 1 in 40 crossfall, which means 6 inches. The one side is 6 inches higher than the next one, so we call it a 1 in 40. Which gives you the minimum grade for vehicular traffic. We're going to put in what we call a slipper drain out of concrete, and that will be reinforced with precast curbs right along this section until we meet halfway of the road. Because we have one of the things that we don't do in engineering terms, we don't carry water for a long distance, but here we have to carry it because we have no, the boundaries are such that we cannot take it through the boundaries. So we have to carry it right through to the bottom of the road. The road is 578 meters long. And the minimum is about 4.28 meters. In other words, we are further down halfway of that. We're going to increase, in order to take the water, we're going to use some what we call the HDPE pipe, a polythene pipe, which you see along the road, various sections, we call it tubes or whatnot, to take the water because of the amount of water that would come off the road.
How many contractors you have on?
Presently, we are looking at 6 petty contractors. All have various sections. Some are doing road and curbs, some are doing on the culverts or the drainage, some are doing what we call well, all in all, it's divided up into 7 sections, whereby 7 to 6 sections, whereby 7 petty contractors all signed their contract documents. So we're ready now to start the process now of constructing to final finish.
Yeah, while the work is going on, how would the residents access them?
Okay, what we have done, we have sat and have various meetings with the residents, and they gave us some ideas of what we could do to help them. So what we were looking at another bypass, but because of the landowners now didn't agree, so we had to resort back to what original. Original was to do this first section up here, and when we're doing concrete cure, we allow traffic on it 7 days after. It's because of it needed to go into tension.
Yeah, so in effect, the residents of the area are happy.
Yes, and in with us
to be able to wait the 7 days to drive the vehicles.
Right, and some said they will park them, if they have 2 vehicles or 1, they will park below in order to meet their requirement. So the residents are involved from day 1 to now. Because when it's finished, although the road's going to be turned over to government, it's a community. So they will keep the drains and so clean after because of the community involvement.
But part of the idea on the BNTF project, because this is something that needs to be understood, is that on the BNTF project, so the Basic Needs Trust Fund project funded by CDB, what we try to do is to get the communities involved.
Yes.
For greater community participation.
And because of that, in involvement. In other words, they will own the project when it's finished. Apart from government doing the major maintenance, when it comes to routine maintenance like clearing the drain, they are involved. So from day 1, they are in until it's finished, and it's still not finished.
And who is the local engineer now?
Keith Thomas is the local consultant engineer on this project.
Okay, and all of your material will be local material?
All materials, is the cement which comes in from overseas.
Okay.
And the lumber. All the materials stone aggregates or whatever you call it, and labor. We're trying to keep the labor local.
And this will be a concrete road.
Concrete road, 6 inches thick reinforced,
Reinforced
concrete
concrete.
with BRC fabric. Time frame we're looking at completed maybe 2 months or less because of the way how we are structuring it.
Yeah, because you have more contractors on, then
We
it
be
means
able
that
to
you
speed
can
up.
push it and speed
And what
it.
we have asked the petty contractors to do is that either work with one another or find ways and means. We came up with an idea of either hiring Galway's truck.
So you're looking mass concrete?
Mass concrete
As against small
using,
mixer.
yes. Because we cannot keep the resident out too long.
Well, and on top of that, it's getting close to the rainy season.
We're in it
so
right
you
now.
need to be in a
Yes, so we're in a position. So you'll find that we're trying to push this project. Another project which I would like to let you know that I'm writing now, another project now for Bazis Road.
Well, you have Bazis Road and you have Drummond's
Road,
which will be done under the same program.
Basic needs, yes.
Under the same basic needs
So
program.
I'm to start now. I'm just finishing off the road project, project description, all the works that goes on with community, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of things which involved so that CDBB will pass the project.
Well, you see, over and above that, other than the road projects, you still have the St. John's building,
which is ongoing right now.
ongoing.
The contractor now is
Dolly Weeks. is
yes,
doing that.
Weeks and Weeks construction.
The other one is the Davy Hill
The
one.
Davy Hill one, which we are now going to send out for contractors
For
to
tenders, right.
tenders.
Right.
We are going along with the slaughter facilities at Braid. That's the
Yeah, that's the one that Ryan Investments
right
are
management is
working
doing.
on.
So we are
And
going
then
along with that.
there's also the other one the other area that we're looking at is the water.
We're looking at the
section.
water tank at up by Hope, and some of the areas along the way to strengthen the pipe that come across the guts. Because you know water is essential to us, and one of the things that CDB has in is trying to keep bone disease out of the water. So those areas we're looking at now. Right now we are in the process of getting those completed because we have a time frame in order to get those.
And the other thing is that all of these projects are being done using local expertise.
Local expert, right.
So you have your local architects, your local engineers.
And you have
and all
everybody
your contractors are local.
local.
So you're in effect creating
employment. This is what CDB does. They have a thing they call poverty reduction, and because of poverty reduction, we try to get as much people involved in the construction of any projects that they fund.
All right.
And while I'm telling you, the government of Montserrat put in 20% of the total cost of the funding of the projects.
Well,
It's 80-20.
Yeah, it's 80-20
Yes.
because although Basic Needs Trust Fund is not a loan
Yeah.
program, it's a program which started with the United States, USAID.
USAID, yeah.
Once USAID came out, then what we at CDB did was to bring the other non-borrowing member countries on board. And then those funds are allocated country by country based on population size
And their poverty.
and their poverty levels.
And we do have skills training. We are now working on some skills training project so that people will be trained in the various fields.
Well, part of what is happening, which I think is important for people to understand, is that the Davy Hill and St. John's community centers are not just for meetings.
No.
Because part of what will happen is that they will be used for skills training for people within the communities. The other element here is that St. John's did not have land available.
No one.
So government had to now come in and buy the land, cut the levels for the St. John's people, put the electricity on site, and then the community groups, because you must have active community groups. If you don't have the active community groups, those projects will not happen. St. John's had a very strong active community group, and therefore they were able to move ahead. Whereas in Davy Hill, we had people like Rose Willock and others forming and working with the community in Davy Hill to get them up to a level so that when we're finished, that the Davy Hill community can then take responsibility. For the project. So it's part of the community development an enhancement project.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Thank you.
MCAP, Movement for Change and Prosperity.